All right, so welcome back to this week's weekly webinar. I am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, and this week we're going to talk about the role of technology in multifamily investing. But before we do, let's talk about Yarusi Holdings. So we are a multifamily investment firm here now in Middle Tennessee. We've invested in over 2,000 units across 6 states since 2016. But today we're going to dive in about some of the path forward with investing in multifamily and the use of technology within that format. But if you want to hear more about each and every week, the webinars we do that are all targeted for multifamily, right? So our source of these webinars is to bring the information that we're working on, that we're hearing about, that we're utilizing. We're bringing this to you. So if you want to hear about this, make sure you go down there and hit that follow button. So each and every week you're alerted when we bring you the new webinar of the week. So let's dive in. Technology with multifamily investing. Now, if we think about it, where is the easiest access point? Well, that's property management. If we look at the property management system, that ultimately is, we'll say, outdated, right? It's almost a dinosaur of approach. It's one of the few functions here, just actual rental collections, where we see still a function of checks, right? How many checks are you actually writing, and what are you writing them for? The majority of people out there writing checks today is because of paying rent. So how can we make that function easier? Now, if we look at this, really, it just comes down to the user experience. The user experience is still convoluted, it's still difficult from a leasee, right? So from a point of someone who's coming to rent an apartment, it's still pretty clunky, right? You have to meet the person, you have to go in there, find the keys, find the access to the unit, right? There's so many functions of this leasing process that are still not automated. Go in there and fill out your paper lease, right? How are we going to get to the point of adapting this so it can be real time? As people are catching up with technology and using a lot of their life on technology, this needs to transition. And we're starting to see this with a lot of platforms. Here at Yarusi Holdings, for some of the properties that we manage, we use a system called Buildium, right? So it allows tenants to go there real time, go in there, make an application for leasing a unit. Also allows them to go in there and put in part, whether it be to sign a lease or schedule maintenance calls, or even to pay rent and set up rent on ACH, right? So it allows all these functions here. And the goal for us is, if you can look at it from a point of management side, it also eliminates a lot of functions, a lot of in-betweens where we become the stopgap, right? They can go in there and complete these systems. We can come on our side and do automated background checks. We do all the pieces of the puzzle to make sure that we're doing our steps as well. So as you continue to automate, it will continue to make that function quicker. On the same side, technology is going to come and roll for access to units, right? Having Wi-Fi locks where they can come real time to be able to access their units, whether it be not only a point of us giving them access so they can access all the time. If they have a problem, we can change it and help them get into the unit. Or if they want to see a unit, right, they'd also have that access to be able to get in there as well. So when we look at this, we're thinking about the user experience. And that's a lot what you want to think about too, right? This can be something you can implement for you, but how can it help the tenant? How can it help the user have the best experience when they're coming to rent a unit for you, right? If you can make it easy on them, that's going to be something, right? We think of our place to live, it's our place to live. We don't want it to be something of a burdensome task that each time we come into this, that we have to think of a new way to do something, or we have to have some communication back and forth, right? Most today, they want to have easy access, they have an easy life, and easy things happen. And if we can make that as a living experience for them, something that can be great living experience with little to be seen in between, in the fact of the motion of us having to be accessed in that part, it's going to make that user experience that much more helpful. So again, I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. As we think forward on technology is going to continue to increase. It's going to continue to part. If you think about 15, 20 years ago, there was no iPhone. Now we think about how much of the iPhone is part of our life, right? So you can think about all formats of our life, how our life is going to get made easier. You can think of even our point from savings as an owner, right? Many times tenants run wild with the utilities, right? They push up temperature control, right? So if we get a lot of smart thermostats or other things that are tampering or governing on temperature control, right? How can that save us in the future on where we're going? All right, so that's what I got this week. Want to talk more about investing in technology, make sure to reach out. Tell us what's working for you. Leave a note in the comments here. Let us know something you're implementing in your business today that's been very beneficial that we should definitely hear about. Thanks so much. I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, and that was this week's webinar, Investing in Multifamily Assets and the Use of Technology to Implement Going Forward. Let's do this.